Thank you for tuning in to CMPAC Spotlight. I'm your host, Keith Roberson. This is where we put the spotlight on all of our talent, producers, directors, crew, etc. here at Access 21. Today I have with me here none other than Arritta Pruitt. How are you?
Hey Keith, I'm well, thank you.
Who is Arritta Pruitt? Who are you?
Who is Arritta? Okay, well, I guess some may say I'm complicated, but I think I'm kind, I'm humorous, I'm hard worker, I am a mother, grandmother, I'm a veteran, I'm a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm a podcaster, you know, I like to work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a lot of things. Okay, so I am doing a podcast and it is not going well at this time, but that's okay.
What do you mean?
I know we may talk about like production later, but what happened, it was more so I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I got a little nervous talking to my guests, and it just didn't go the way I wanted to. And then on the other end, I did the editing myself. So, but I was going to beat myself up about it, but I changed my mind. So I decided to fail forward.
So how much of who you are translates into your roles here? Because you do a lot. You've been at quite a few productions as of late. Happy to see you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for doing the program. How it's set up, how we have designed it to be. So how much of who you are translates here at Access 21?
Probably all. I mean, I'm going to say all of me because I'm funny. I make people laugh a lot, and I don't even I don't try to
Natural.
do it. But and then just I like to be a part of a team, work with people. So I like that vibe. So that part of me, bringing that teamwork effort, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So how did you find out about Access 21? What brought you here?
You want the long story or the short one?
We got some time.
Okay,
Give us the medium.
Okay, medium version. There was a woman, I was going to volunteer with her, and she wanted to produce a show. And I had done some other work with doing some short films and things. So she said that she wanted me to help her produce the show, and she thought that maybe I could just come in here and start producing the show, but that's not the case. So she was going to pay. She was going to pay for all the classes and everything, but it just didn't work out. And that's how I found out about it. So, but it didn't work out with her. But like a year later, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go check out that Access 21.
Okay.
So I'm just here on my own now.
Yeah, I went through a similar situation like that. Not with Access 21, but somebody kind of like juked me into doing something that we were supposed to do together, and then I just wound up being the only person doing it.
Well, let me see. We weren't supposed to do anything together. I was really just helping her, but I think she had the process of what goes on down here wrong. Yeah.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, you do a lot here. What would you say is your favorite role so far? And do you see yourself going beyond what you're doing right now?
Well, I like being on the camera, and I like floor directing, and I actually want to do, directing, and get the control room. That's next, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you feel like you're forming some sort of camaraderie with some people to where you can say like, this is my crew, like exchanging numbers, like we're going to work on X, Y, and Z project together? Do you feel like any of that is happening, like some sort of synergy is happening between you and anybody here?
Yes, but we hadn't like thought about like doing anything together. But I've helped other people, and I'm certain that if I asked, they would help me, with my podcast or whatever. So,
yeah. I don't want to create like I don't want to promote rather like some sort of boys club or anything like that. But that's kind of how it works, right? That's definitely how it works in in the industry, like where people, they get together and they say we're going to do work together, you know. And so I don't necessarily think that's wrong to do. I kind of like, you know, that spurs people on to continue to do it, you know what I mean, and to
Right.
continue to help one another out, like, because you're not getting paid, you know what I mean. So so the payment is in what, food, maybe a coupon
Or
here
the
and there.
passion of just doing
And
it.
that's what I'm getting at, right? The passion of doing it, but knowing that somebody else has a passion and I'm going to get up and go for them. You know what I mean? I encourage you and everybody else out there that is here at Access 21 to find that group, you know, to find those people, to find those friends that may be friends for life, to say, hey, we're going to go through this process together and we're going to produce the stuff that we had intended to produce. Most definitely. So, like, feel like you got anybody like that? You know, I know that's...
I'm working on it. I'm
Yeah.
working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're on your way. Speaking of which, speaking of people, you know, people are, you know, multifaceted, such as yourself. There's a lot to get right about you, but what do you feel like people get wrong about you from time to time? Like, what's one thing that you like, I wish they knew this?
Oh wow. Okay. I wish people knew that I care about everybody, and I'm a very passionate person.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
I mean,
You think you've always had
Yeah,
that? Like, it's always been something like intrinsic inside of you that just cares about people beyond how other people care?
No, I think I was just born that way, you know. I was just born that way. When things happen, a lot of times people come to me because they know that I'm going to do something or say something or, you know, try to help them make it right.
Do you feel like that comes across in your podcast?
Not yet.
What's the wall that's blocking that aspect of you from coming out in your podcast?
Probably because I was nervous and I couldn't really relax and I wasn't prepared as I wanted to be, and I'm trying to learn how to just, you know, let things flow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll tell you, you in the right business for that. So, you know, because you told me before that you produced one show. You recorded 3, correct me where I'm wrong,
3 or 4 of them.
but you put one out. So what happened there?
Why I only put 1 out?
Yeah, and you did 4.
Okay, so I did 2 here in the studio, and then I traveled to interview some people. And when
Wow.
Yeah, but I didn't, and those were good, but it's just didn't have the right equipment, so the sound is kind of bad.
Okay.
And because it's only audio, you know, the sound is really important. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You had to travel far?
No, I went to Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's not like they could have came here.
Then it was just
They
some people.
but
Yeah, it was just people I wanted to interview, and I knew them personally. It would make it, you know.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Definitely audio is important. Audio is important.
For audio only podcast.
That's right. It's important for doing the audio.
So it was a lot of
experience.
moving. I was moving around the camera. It was
Yeah. So, you know what I mean, a lot of producers watch this show. Like somebody imagine somebody is sitting on the other end of this TV screen saying, I want to do something like that. What would you recommend to them next time? Like, what mistakes did you make that you're not going to make again?
for the podcast.
Yes.
Oh, one thing I would do is have a script and, you know, have it written down. Don't try to go from
Off the cuff, yeah.
from memory or whatever.
Yeah.
Number one. And then if you're going to travel, and okay, besides that, you know, be natural, you know, so people could, you know, especially for my podcast, it's how may I help you. So you want to come off as trusting, you know, believable, and not that I'm lying or anything,
Right.
but you know, you
come
just
off as...
well, because like you said, sometimes people misunderstand, and
Right.
it could be a misunderstanding,
Right.
you know, with the words. So, so definitely just be prepared with a script and practice, and just try to just relax and, you know, do your thing on that portion. But the technical side is if you're going to do audio and things like that, make sure your levels are right so it sounds good.
Do you feel like going forward, you kind of like want people to come to you as opposed to you going to them? Because I know that could be nerve-wracking
Come to me for...
to record. You have your setup already, and they come to you. Like you're not necessarily going all the way to.
So you mean like ask people to be guests and things like that?
Yeah, the next time you have a guest, like
No, I mean I don't mind.
you don't mind. You just want to get better at the going out and being in the field.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
It's just certain people that I thought had something important to say that I would want, give them the platform to say it.
Okay. Okay. So the name of your podcast is
How May I Help with Arritta?
How May I Help with Arritta? How did we fall on you touched on it, but how did we fall on that name? And it would be funny to hear the other names that you had in the word.
I never had any other names.
Okay, it was that one.
It was during class when I was learning the producer, and how we have to, okay, what would you do? And so I just stuck with what I came up with from the beginning.
Nice. So podcasts are still relatively new in the whole grand scheme of media. So there's so many ways you could do a podcast. They're coming up with more ways as we speak. Now you can, in our podcast studio is actually set up for that, where you can do video for your podcast. You don't necessarily do it. That's completely fine. You're staying true to the whole origin of it all. But what would you say your podcast brings that other podcasts don't? Or I know we only did one, but what do you want it to bring?
Well, when it becomes better and I start doing it the way that I want it to be, I think based on the podcast that I listen to, there are some good ones out there, and I think there's some bad ones, and they're not good and bad in relation to, how it was done, but I think it's more so with the information that's being put out. I want to have a podcast that's telling people something that can help them, and that would help them in whatever I'm talking about. If it's education or what's going on with the schools or whatever, I want it to be helpful, not something that's going to hurt somebody. So that is what makes my podcast stand out, is about helping people.
Very good. Very good. So we have a clip. Let's check it out.
And welcome to How May I Help You with Arritta. I wanted to tell you all I started this podcast because I would be online or watch the news, and it seemed like everything was so negative, and I couldn't really figure out who was telling the truth and what was right and what was wrong. But in order for me to do that, I had to do a lot of research, dig a little deep, look at things that probably the average person won't have time to do or just not interested in doing. But that's what we have to do today. We have to dig deep, get the information, and educate ourselves.
I see you agreeing with yourself. I do that too. I'm listening back to myself. I'm like, that's right. That's very good, very good. You have a very calming voice too, so somebody could listen to that. Yeah, for sure, most definitely. So,
Thank you.
What is you talked about planning stuff out and not coming off like just on a whim and all of that type of stuff. So, what does your pre-production process look like? Or in theory, what would it look like?
In theory. Well, since this podcast, and I've been reflecting, I've come up with something. I'm thinking about actually just making it video and audio for the next go round, as I get more comfortable with, talking in camera, things like that. So that would take, I think that would help to add a little more, visuals to it. So, but I'm working to determine if I want to do that. And then the other thing is, I want to have like a steady, line that I say like from in the beginning and then the end, and then what happens in the middle, depending on who's guest, it'd be more authentic and natural. But just to come up with that, that thing that I say.
Yeah. No, most definitely. I think that's great. Because even though it kind of works like a theme song. If you will, like, cause I remember when they don't have theme songs anymore, not with lyrics at least. But I remember I would just love to turn on the TV and hear a theme song, and that would already captivate me into the show.
You already know.
So knowing that you're gonna say something, after a while you might say it along with them and all of that type of stuff. I think that's great.
I did. I studied other podcasters that I liked,
Good.
And the ones that I really like are the ones that when you listen to them, you feel like really calm and And I'm trying to make sure I want something like that.
Yeah.
Not something to get you all,
riled up.
yeah,
Yeah.
ready to go bust out some
yeah,
windows.
Like how may how may I help? And it's like, not like that. not like
So,
this.
yeah.
People be riding around listening to you doing B&Es.
Yeah, so I want to be, and so I'm working on that. I want to be, it's like this zen, peaceful situation.
Yeah. We talked about it. We just talked about it. The way that you want your show to be. The way that you want your show to be. Let's get back to Access 21 specifically. We know that you're producing a show, but what keeps you coming back to Access 21? You could do a show anywhere, like you said. You were in Virginia Beach. What keeps you coming back here?
You cannot do a show anywhere. With all of this, you have the equipment, you have the team. I mean, I've tried to do so many things on my own, and it's difficult. So this is a place where, gives you a lot of resources. And and then you get the training and you get to meet people. So it's just, that's what makes me come back. Now, I was skeptical at first. I was scared to come down here. I was like, I don't know. But, I love it.
What put you at ease? What made you?
Because everybody's pretty nice. And then when I ask, crazy questions, people usually answer them. But I got a couple times, I get a couple times, I've never had that question before, but let me see. So, yeah. What's next
Since
question?
becoming a member of Access 21, how has the way that you watch television, the way that you watch a movie, the way that you even listen to the radio, how has that changed? I don't even have to ask if it did. I know it did. How has it changed?
Well, the funny thing is it changed a long time ago for me.
Okay, good.
So, yeah. And even when it changed a long time ago, when I used to watch, you're just watching for the entertainment, the jokes, but now I can find mistakes. I can see, different things where I pick up different things. And a lot of times people don't even want to watch movies with me because I'm noticing things
picking
that
it apart,
it's like, who cares? But I'm like, did you see that?
Yeah.
She had on glasses in that scene and it's supposed to be, and stuff like that.
You'll never watch TV the same ever again.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to, because it is your job as a person who creates a piece of work to be nitpicky, to make it the best thing that you could possibly make it. I think the better you get, the more you're going to do that. It doesn't go away. In fact, it oftentimes it gets worse. Yeah.
I thought about something for TV, like watching TV, like making sure just the angles and lined up right. Like news programs, they're always perfect, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pretty set. They pretty locked in. Yeah, you see the different styles between different shows, and you start thinking why they chose the angles that they chose, and why they chose the color palettes that they chose, and the different color grading and stuff like that, and what it does to not just here but here as well.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's next for Arritta?
Well, I'm gonna
produce another podcast.
Yeah, still work on my podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe continue training, get up to directing, and just keep going, producing, trying to make some shows, help people out, be on teams. Yeah, all of that.
Amazing. Sometimes I look around. I'm here enough. I look around and I look at some of the pictures that we have up. And they're clearly from like the 80s, early 90s, a lot of them. Where do you see yourself in all of that? Like, obviously these people, they have left a legacy. They there's names on some rooms and stuff like that.
Wow.
In the grand scheme of things, when it's all said and done, what kind of mark do you want to leave on this place?
Well, to be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's
You're welcome.
I don't know how much time I have to think about that.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's anything, I would say just something positive. People will say, "Oh, she was really nice. She was funny." I don't know if he'll name a room after me, but
I don't know. I think maybe they had to pay some money or something.
Okay, but yeah, I don't know.
I gotta do some more research. I.e., ask James. So I don't know. As far as your podcast is concerned, where do you see it going? Like, do you see it taking off? Who do you want it to reach? Let's ask that better question.
You know
Who
what?
do you want it to reach?
Because that's something new for me, and I was just trying to do something out of my comfort zone. And I'm not even certain if I'm going to continue to do that. I may, graduate into producing a TV show or something. I'm just kind of going with the
Seeing where
flow.
you're
Yeah.
going.
See
Okay.
what feels good. But I wanted to do it, and I said if I was going to do it, I wanted to make sure it was something. If I'm going to say something that would be helpful.
Right.
So.
So we know that. So obviously, you're a producer, you're a podcaster, but ultimately the goal is to help people. And
Well, I mean, it's different things. Like I said, just positivity. Like I'm older, and there's a lot of women. It's different things I would talk about, like maybe like aging skin. It's just
Okay.
on the lighter side of just being something that somebody could use, or maybe even nutrition, or what's going on in the CMS schools. Sometimes it's just a lot of information,
Absolutely.
and I could help break it down just for understanding, not to say who's right or wrong, but
Right.
look, this is what it is.
here's another perspective.
And
Yeah.
not a perspective, but this is what it is.
Oh, this is what it is.
The fact. I mean, if I'm reading straight from a
That's right.
bill or something,
That's
I
right.
don't want to have any room for no
Right.
misinformation,
Right.
or because that's the problem
Right.
now. It's just
Yeah, it's a whole lot of
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, people think that this means this, and you want to
So-
give them. This is what this is saying. This is
Yeah.
what this bill that is being passed is
or
saying.
this is what you can do. You should take, step 1, 2, and 3 if you want your child to go to XYZ school. But in order to do that, I have to, do a lot of research and prepare myself
Yeah.
for those type of shows.
So, do you see yourself having a bunch of guests to help you with that, or you feel like doing the research yourself and just coming to the table with the research?
No,
and laying it
I
out?
want guests to help me
Okay.
with that. And I know some people, but I also, too, I wanted to get better before I start bringing these professional people in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like screwing up.
I mean, we're gonna mess up, and that's why the stop button is there and the pause button and all of that.
Or
type of
I'm
stuff.
not like
Yeah.
comfortable enough to like just
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah, you just gotta do it.
So I kind of been practicing.
Yeah.
I practiced with people that I was really comfortable with.
Yeah, yeah. I would have more of them on. Just keep having them. Keep having more of those people on the show. I'm sure you got friends that you might even not. You might be surprised the stuff that they know and the stuff that they have expertise in. And maybe even bring them along. And they might know somebody
Right.
that knows somebody and say, come with me
Yeah.
to the studio
Yeah.
so that we can knock this episode out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the world needs to hear you. The world needs to hear your voice. You want to help us. Help
I'm
us.
trying to help you.
Put your stuff out. Don't worry about the audio too much. I know that's me saying that. I know I want good audio too. I want to hear good audio, but we want to hear you too. So we need
Well.
you to drop those episodes.
Okay,
I
they
need
coming.
you to be
They just give
making
me,
them rain
give
out
me,
here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Give me a second. And give me a second. I plan on sometime in August. I have someone because the podcast was bad when I went to Virginia. She's going to come here, and I say, please, can you please come so we can do it in the studio?
Yeah.
So maybe, and she's going to come in August. So hopefully,
That'll be amazing.
yeah.
Looking forward to hearing it. Where can they find you at?
Find me where?
Yeah.
Well, can you just tell
Where
them?
can they find your podcast? Not you necessarily. Don't give us
No,
your
I
address.
mean, I don't.
Where-
No, I
where
know
can
that,
they
but I'm
find-
saying, and that was the other part. I guess I didn't tell you that, but I don't have a lot of like social media presence. Like I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I do have like a Facebook page, and I do have a Facebook page for the podcast, but
Okay.
I don't. It's not. I'm not. It's under maintenance, so to speak.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just give me a second, and
Can
then
can they find the podcast on Apple Podcast?
oh, they can find it on Podbean. Podbean.
That's the podcast host.
Yes.
They can't find you there.
Yes.
But can they find you on Apple?
No,
No.
just I'm just on Podbean.
Not on Spotify? I'm gonna help you.
No, I'm
gonna
not
help-
yet.
I'ma
But I don't
help
want to go to those places until it's right. I mean,
I'm gonna take your RSS feed and put it on all of the other ones. It's that simple.
I listen.
Well,
Just hold off a second. Give me a minute.
okay. All right. Well, we thank you for coming. Appreciate you for being here.
Why you laughing so hard? What the heck is going on? You're welcome.
Thank Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And you know, every time I see you, I'm happy to see you. No, straight up, honest. Thank you for coming. Much luck to you and much success to your show and the other things that you have going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Arritta Pruitt. This has been Arritta Pruitt. I've been your host, Keith Roberson, and this has been CMPAC Spotlight. And to everybody out there, good light and good night.
Good night.